The Lost City of Atlantis, a historical mystery in archaeology. Have you ever stood by the sea, its waves whispering tales of forgotten worlds, and wondered what cities lie beneath its depths? I once sailed across the Mediterranean, the sun glinting off azure waters, and felt the pull of a name that has haunted humanity for millennia: Atlantis. This lost city, described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato as a utopian empire sunk by divine wrath, is a cornerstone of ancient myths, a historical mystery that captivates like Jack the Ripper's unsolved murders in London history. Was Atlantis a real civilization, a moral fable, or a dream woven from the tides? From the Aegean's sunken ruins to the Caribbean's coral reefs, explorers chase its shadow, driven by whispers of a true crime against time. Tonight, we'll dive into the legend of Atlantis, trace its echoes through history, and explore a strange phenomenon that blends archaeology and myth, an unsolved puzzle as timeless as the ocean itself. Our journey begins in 360 BCE in Athens, where Plato pens two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, introducing Atlantis to the world. He claims the story comes from Egyptian priests, relayed via the Greek poet Solon, who heard it in Sais around 590 BCE. Atlantis, Plato writes, was an island larger than Libya and Asia combined, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, likely the Strait of Gibraltar. Its people, descendants of Poseidon, built a dazzling city with concentric canals, golden temples, and a palace rivaling Olympus. For generations, they thrived, blending wisdom with power, their navy unmatched. But greed corrupted them, and in a single day and night, earthquakes and floods sank Atlantis beneath the waves, leaving a muddy shoal where ships could not pass. Plato's tale, a blend of allegory and history, sparks a historical mystery that grips Russian history's dreamers, a lost city that echoes American history's ghost tales. The ancient world was a crucible of empires and cataclysms, where myths like Atlantis took root. Greece, in Plato's time, buzzed with tales of Troy and Minos, while Egypt's priests guarded scrolls of lost eras. The Mediterranean, per archaeologist Eberhard Zanger in 1992, was a hotspot of Bronze Age collapses, volcanoes, tsunamis, and wars reshaped civilizations like the Minoans. Plato's Atlantis, per historian J.V. Luce in 1969, may draw from these events, blending real disasters with moral lessons. By the Middle Ages, scholars like Cosmas Indicopoulos linked Atlantis to biblical floods, while Renaissance thinkers, like Athanasius Kircher in 1665, mapped it in the Atlantic. In 1882, Ignatius Donnelly's Atlantis, the antediluvian world, ignited modern fascination, claiming it as a global cradle of culture. The Lost City, a true crime of oblivion, stirs the paranormal, much like Jack the Ripper's shadow in London history, an ancient myth that sails through time. To humanize this enigma, let's imagine Lysandra, a fictional Athenian scribe in 360 BCE, whose story weaves through Atlantis's legend. Lysandra, 22, transcribes Plato's dialogues in a sunlit agora, her quill tracing tales of the lost city. She dreams of Atlantis's canals, sketching its rings in secret. When traders speak of sunken ruins off Crete, Lysandra wonders if Plato's tale is true. Years later, she sails to Egypt, seeking the priests of Sais, but finds only whispers. In old age, Lysandra teaches her niece, passing down Plato's words, urging her to seek the sea's secrets. In 1880, Lysandra's descendant, a Greek archaeologist, digs at Santorini, clutching her ancestor's sketch. Lysandra's story, though imagined, grounds Atlantis in human curiosity, an ancient myth that touched lives, much like true crime's grip on American history. The search for Atlantis spans centuries, blending archaeology with obsession. In 1900, Arthur Evans's Minoan discoveries on Crete fueled theories that Atlantis was the Minoan civilization, destroyed by the Thera eruption around 1600 BCE, per geologist Spiridon Marinatos in 1939. In 1967, divers off Bimini in the Bahamas found stone formations dubbed the Bimini Road, sparking claims of a Caribbean Atlantis, per Edgar Cayce's 1930s visions. In 2001, oceanographer Robert Ballard scanned the Mediterranean, finding no grand city but noting sunken Bronze Age ports. In 2011, archaeologist Richard Freund proposed Spain's Dinana marshes, citing satellite images of circular patterns, though excavations yielded little. Recent X-posts in 2024 debate Antarctica, citing ice core data, but geologists like Bethan Davies in 2020 dismiss it as too remote. Atlantis, a true crime of history, baffles scholars like the Tunguska Event's Cosmic Scars, a lost city in ancient myths that deepens with each dig. Where was Atlantis? The first theory points to the Mediterranean, rooted in archaeology. The Thera eruption, per volcanologist Floyd McCoy in 2009, unleashed a 100-meter tsunami devastating Minoan Crete, whose palaces resemble Plato's concentric city. Cycladic ruins, studied by Sandy McGillivray in 2015, show advanced engineering matching Atlantis's canals. Linguistic links, per philologist K. Demitis in 1998, tie Atlantis to Atlas, a Greek titan tied to the west. Yet, Crete's size far smaller than Plato's, larger than Libya, and timeline 1600 BCE, not 9600 BCE, don't fully align, keeping Atlantis a historical mystery. Like Jack the Ripper's elusive identity in London history. A second theory places Atlantis in the Atlantic or Caribbean. Donnelly's 1882 book links it to the Azores, mid-Atlantic islands atop submerged ridges, per geologist Marc-André Gutchier in 2005. The Bimini Road, analyzed by geologist Eugene Shin in 1980, is likely natural limestone, but Casey's followers claim psychic proof. In 2018, Merlin Burrows' team reported underwater walls off Spain, but sonar data remains unverified. This theory, tied to oceanography, explains Plato's Beyond the Pillars but lacks artifacts, a strange phenomenon in ancient myths, akin to true crime's unsolved cases. A third theory sees Atlantis as a metaphor or fiction. Philosopher Alan Cameron in 1983 argues Plato crafted it to critique Athens's hubris, mirroring the Persian Wars. Literary scholar Christopher Gill in 1993 notes Critias breaks off unfinished, suggesting a parable. Egyptian tales, per historian Herodotus in 430 BCE, lack Atlantis, casting doubt on Solon's source. Some, like occultist Manly P. Hall in 1928, link it to spiritual realms, a paranormal vision. This theory, rooted in philosophy, dismisses a physical city but doesn't explain Plato's geographic detail, a historical mystery that captivates like Jack the Ripper's debated motives in true crime. The evidence is tantalizingly vague. Plato's texts, preserved in Byzantine codices, are our sole ancient source, per classicist Diskin Clay in 1999. Submerged ruins, like Pavlopetriov, Greece, studied by John Henderson in 2011, show ancient ports but no utopia. Geological data, per Paul Clogg in 2001, confirm Mediterranean tsunamis but no Atlantic cataclysm in 9600 BCE. In 2023, UNESCO's Underwater Heritage Survey found no Atlantis-like sites. Like the Flying Dutchman's ghost ship, Atlantis's truth is a void, a true crime enigma in archaeology that fuels endless quests. Atlantis's legacy endures, a beacon in human imagination. It inspired novels like Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, films like Disney's Atlantis, and games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. In 2024, X-posts debated Thera versus Antarctica, reflecting its grip on modern minds. Atlantis shaped archaeology, spurring deep-sea exploration, and draws dreamers to Santorini, much like Jack the Ripper's myth in London history. Like the Voynich manuscript, it reveals our thirst for lost worlds, a strange phenomenon that haunts our seas. Let's return to Lysandra, our scribe, to anchor the myth. Decades later, Lysandra, now old, sits by an Athenian shore, her sketch of Atlantis faded. She recalls Plato's voice, the priest's whispers, and her own wonder. When sailors speak of sunken cities, Lysandra smiles, feeling its dream alive. She tells her niece of 360 BCE, urging her to seek truth. Lyssandra's awe, though imagined, ties Atlantis to human hearts, a lost city that lingers like true crimes, unsolved murders, an ancient myth in historical mysteries. What does Atlantis teach us? It's more than a historical mystery, it's a mirror of hope, loss, and the human quest for origins. Like Jack the Ripper's victims, it's a tale we mourn, a city we chase. The Mediterranean theory speaks to history, the Atlantic to adventure, the metaphor to wisdom. Each shapes our view of ancient myths, yet Atlantis eludes us, an unsolved case that challenges us to question, as we do with London history's mysteries, to honor the sea's secrets. In 2025, as divers probe the deep, we stand with Lysandra asking her questions. Will we find Atlantis, or will the sea keep its dream? The answer matters less than the seeking, for in it we honor the lost. Atlantis, like the Bermuda Triangle or Jack the Ripper, is a bridge to the past, uniting us with those who dreamed under the same stars. Its mystery is a flame we tend, ensuring its waves endure. As we close, let's hold Atlantis close. It's a ripple in the deep, its story living in us. Its people, like Lysandra, didn't know we'd seek them, but they hoped, trusting time to sing. That hope inspires us to question, to seek, to dream. So what truths will you chase? What depths will you dive? Atlantis is silent, but its echo lingers. In every mystery we unravel. That day in the Mediterranean, when I felt the sea's pulse, I was silent. Now, I'd say the point is to keep listening, to keep searching, to keep dreaming. Atlantis is the sea's deepest dream, but its spirit endures. What do you think? What does the city mean to you? Have you felt the pull of ancient myths, the urge to uncover lost cities in historical mysteries? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us what inspires you, what enigmas you want to explore. If you're captivated by archaeology and the shadows of the deep, subscribe, hit that bell, and join us for more tales weaving past and present. Atlantis is ours to carry forward. Thank you for diving through the waves with us. Until next time, keep chasing the secrets lost in the sea.